right, welcome back to the Cook Station at Home. Today we are very excited to have two special guests, two of the ladies from the Euphoria team. We have Morgan Allen, and then we also have Miss Alexandra Rutland. So welcome in, guys.
We're excited to have you.
We thought this was perfect timing with Euphoria quickly approaching.
Are you trying to make us nervous?
Yeah, that's what she said.
I know when I start getting emails from Alexandra at
Daily.
midnight and 1 a.m., I'm like, it's coming up.
Euphoria is almost like this NBA season. It seems to go year round.
Well,
It's like every time it's like basketball's still on, I'm like, Euphoria is still going on. It just, as soon as it ends, it starts again.
It does.
never
And it
ends.
seems to come quicker every year, it feels like. So, no rest, but that's okay.
No.
We're excited, and hopefully it just takes a little longer to get here than we think.
Yeah, well, I know that y'all's team has grown, because I used to just say the Euphoria girls, and I knew it was y'all, and then y'all had some other people, but y'all's team has grown in the past few years, correct?
Correct. So we used to be just a team of three. I guess about 2 years ago, we brought on a fourth person. And then this year we were able to bring on another person. So we're a team of five. Really probably could be a lot more than that, but we'll take what we can get. We, of course, have a ton of volunteers and partners and board members. So, it's a huge effort for sure.
Absolutely. So tell us each of your roles with Euphoria.
So I'm the executive director. This will be my 11th year with Euphoria, which seems crazy.
It does.
I've lived here exactly 11 years, so this has just been phenomenal. I didn't start out as the executive director, more almost in Alexandra's role, and I guess I've been the executive director since 2018. So it's been a while, and no 2 years have been alike, but some reason I love it.
Yeah. Well, it's not alike because you're having to work with chefs. And I love chefs, but guess what? We work with chefs too. And we love them, but it's not easy.
No, not at all, right?
That's why I have all of their phone numbers.
I love it. It was like we were watching Ted Lasso last night, and I have to go back and do it. But, and him working with the soccer players and not showing up or doing that. Mm-hmm. But they're just happy as they get or grumpy as they can be. But it's just fun.
And they look at you as if you're the thing holding them back.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God. What do you mean? What are you calling me for?
Yeah.
Because you're supposed to be 30 minutes ago.
Yes, that's a big part of Alexandra's role.
Yes. So I am the marketing and hospitality manager. So I get to handle the chefs and beverages and all the marketing. This is my 8th year as a full-time team member, but I interned in 2018. So it'll be my 9th festival weekend since I've been with the company.
Wow.
Yeah.
Y'all have rocked it, though. I mean, and that's coming from somebody that really did see the very first one, because I can remember us looking at each other. Nobody was driving. And going, hey, Kelly, can you send some stuff down in the park? And can you do this?
Remember they had the vendor tents, and then you would get over there and
But the first one,
you would just.
was like,
How many years has Euphoria? What year is this for us?
So it's 21 this year, and yes, we always hear stories every year. Carl likes to remind everybody that they started out with having crackers. They had to bring crackers and cheese out because people were having a little too much to drink and there wasn't a lot of food.
What was it? It was
Southern Exposure.
Yes. I'm glad you said that. I couldn't remember what that was.
Yes,
either.
the first couple of years it was Southern Exposure. The internet
funny.
was really starting to come around a little bit more, and they realized that probably wasn't a great name when you Google Southern Exposure. That's why the name got changed.
I didn't know that. That is great.
Well, then it's funny too with the show Euphoria that came up as well. It was, I would go and do this. I was like, no, not that one.
You do have to be very specific when you type it in.
Yes. But,
I love it.
That's great. So, Morgan, you said that this will be your 11th festival year, and you moved here for this job, correct?
So I didn't. I moved up to the Upstate for my husband's job,
Oh.
and this was the one and only job that I applied for, and got it, and have been here since. So I did not know anything about the festival. I didn't know anything about Greenville or Main Street. I couldn't tell you a single thing going into Euphoria weekend. So it was kind of a bit of almost like a culture shock when you work on something so hard because I started in June and the festival takes place in September. I really didn't know
Were you in food and bev before?
I have always been in food and beverage. I was a manager at a food and beverage at a golf course down in St. Thomas. So food and beverage has always been my background in events. So it was definitely a natural fit, and it was great. It was just very overwhelming. I vividly remember going to party in the park, or the first day of party in the park, and thinking, wow, this is what I've been working on? Like, I really had no idea how big it was. You can see the pictures and you can hear people tell you things. Actually, Adam Hayes lived up in the Highlands, and he called me and was like, I'm coming in hot. How do I get there? And I'm like, I have no idea. Let me find someone that can answer that question for you. Like, I had no clue anything about Greenville. So it was a bit overwhelming the first year, but it was also really cool just to see everything come together.
Absolutely. Well, that's interesting. And I saw, so you're from New Brunswick?
So I'm from Brunswick, Georgia.
Okay. Brunswick,
Yes.
Georgia. And I was just in St. Simon. Isn't that in the same
It
area?
is. So I basically, St. Simon's, Brunswick is my home. I've grown up in St. Simon's. Yeah, I love it. I love going home, but we love it here. Like, I have a little girl that's 9. So this will be our home forever. We really like Greenville.
Wonderful. So you definitely found your roots, and made Euphoria a part of it.
Yeah, and I love it. As crazy and chaotic as it can be, it's also like a big part of me. So I've enjoyed it, and will continue to do so until I feel burned out.
Yeah. So you two, I know that y'all have a team with you, but you know, the front facing, I said the masterminds behind it all. But I'm sure there's a lot of things that people don't know. What does the festival look like through your eyes? You know, leading up to it or weekend of?
Organized chaos.
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
There's always a million moving parts. We all wear a million different hats. Some days I don't see Morgan until 10 p.m. at night when she can finally pop into an event. We're all just running around and putting out fires. And it's all a big team effort that we couldn't do without each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always get the question, like, you have 4 or 5 team members that work full-time year-round on this, like, with a question mark? And I'm like, yes, and I could use a couple more of them. Mm-hmm. Like, it's really so much work right after the festival ends. And to your point, like, it doesn't ever stop, and we're doing so much more throughout the year now, too. It's not just a 4-day weekend in September. So organized chaos is definitely, we have to be incredibly organized, but we also have to roll with the punches 99% of the time and pivot pretty quickly.
And I think a lot of people don't realize that Euphoria is a nonprofit.
Yeah, what is the mission of it?
Yeah, so our mission really started
sorry.
as a...
Sorry.
You're allowed to
I got excited. I wanted to know.
Well, Carl Sobocinski and Edwin McCain started it as a way to give back to the community. They were having so many people reach out and say, like, can you do a fundraiser? Can you do this and that? And they kind of came together, like, what can we do to give back? And in their very first year, they thought, we had this big goal. We're going to give back $1 million the first year. And they were like in the hole the first like 8 years something like, you know, and it's very expensive. You know, that's the hard part. Like, a lot of people don't realize like the expense it takes to put on a festival of this size. So, you know, our mission is to make an economic impact. We bring in a substantial number of tourists and chefs of the weekend. We had over a $5 million economic impact over the 4-day weekend in September. So that's not including our year-round events as well. And then we also give back to the community through our grant partners. So we have a grant program that anyone that focuses on sustenance, aiding children, or culinary musical arts can apply. And so that changes every year who we get the funds back to. So it's very meaningful. This year we gave back over $100,000. So throughout the festival life, we've now given over $1 million. But definitely didn't do
Finally reached the goal.
Yes. Yeah. And again, we also try really hard, like 90% of our expenses stay right here in Greenville.
Yes.
We strive really hard to focus on spending money locally. I mean, obviously we have flights that we have to bring in and some things that are out of our control, but we also are flying them into Greenville. So, you know, there's a lot of factors of what the festival really hits to hit our mission.
And you'll have helped, I remember even when Chef Craig was first diagnosed, it was with, you know, we were like, oh, well, let's put together something to help raise money for Craig internally.
We didn't quite know what we
And
were
we were
doing.
like, and then I remember Alexandra reaching out, being like, or you, I think both of you guys were like, we'll help with this. And it was like overnight, it was just organized, and y'all were so helpful. But just stepping into the community that, you know, that loves Euphoria, but y'all are the quickest to give back to, which is why I know for the Cook Station, makes us so excited to partner with you guys and just be able to be a part of Euphoria.
Just watch it. You give back to everybody, whether it just seems to show up at a cook station when we just seem to need it. Y'all may not know, but just to see their faces, y'all shop with the local people. Y'all, I mean, and I'm just talking about y'all here, and then all of a sudden you start bringing everybody in, and it's amazing. You can give. I love that y'all been able to do $1 million to the charities. I like what you've done for all the local Greenville people. I mean, that's huge. And, I know you did a lot for Valentine, when Valentine, and I can say that when Stan was, that how much y'all supported them. And then you also, so you can't say enough about how the whole thing's going to, but I think it has a lot to do with y'all. That's an internal thing.
Yeah, I think, I've really hard on Mary Frances is our third that's been around for a while, and I guess she was been here 9 years if you've been here 8.
Yep.
So like 9, 11, 8. So we've
And
all
Mary
been around for a while.
Frances is remote some of the time, correct?
So no, Mary Frances is here full time now.
Oh.
She tried to sneak away for a little while, but we didn't let her.
She was remote for a little while.
She was remote for a little while, but she is back full time in town now, and she's our strategic event manager. So she really does a lot of behind the scenes that people don't realize, and I think that's the thing with like putting a fundraiser together or turning around something quickly. Like we know we have the resources, we know we can turn it around quickly, and so we're like, let us help do this. I mean, even through COVID with like the Connect for Good, with putting all the meal boxes together, Carl came and he was just like, I don't want to add something else to your plate. And it's like automatic. Yes. Like we can do this. We can turn this around very quickly and help feed people that need the food, but also give back to the restaurants that need the support as well through COVID. So, we have great resources, but we've just really made great connections. And I think at the heart of that has really been, how do we continue to support local? We don't want to be this huge festival that kind of forgets our mission or our vision. It really is about supporting local as much as possible. And I think when we do that, it kind of trickles down from there.
It's so funny because like Sub-Zero, Wolf, and a lot of these big manufacturers, when you talk to them, a lot of them get mad at things like festivals because it gets to the point where the festival can almost step on the neck of the businesses, and they say, hey, listen, if you want to be a part of us, but you guys have never done that. And what's really kind of neat is it almost pushes us at the cook station. We don't have the resources to help the community. So it's so neat to be able to say, okay, hey, listen, we can have an impact through Euphoria. And Euphoria never makes us do things that we're not comfortable with or makes us pay exorbitant amounts, and it lets us be a part of something because we don't have the skill set to do it, but we want to. And I always have to say thank you for that.
No, and I love the pride that y'all. I love to listen to Craig being a big one, to talk about, because the pride that he has, and or Terry, I've been around her forever, and they get so excited about it. The wine people, Danny, these are just people I have the communication with the most, but how proud they are, that. I like something that showcases them. I've been in something to do with either a restaurant or a business like this my whole life, and to see them come up, y'all help them so strong.
Oh yeah,
it is just that is another big part, even besides the other businesses. I mean, what y'all do for them, that is there. I get so tickled. We hear that all year. Euphoria. I'm like, yes, ma'am. Yeah, we will. Euphoria weekend.
Well, it's definitely a collaborative effort, and I think that's what makes it so great. And what I really love about Greenville is I feel like Euphoria and Greenville are so similar in the ways like we've kind of grown up the last few years together, but we've always at the heart of it been about community. You go to some other festivals, and again, they've just gotten so large that they lose kind of the fact of like, this is supposed to be community oriented. This is supposed to be about the chefs having a good time too, and supporting local businesses. So to me, Euphoria is so great because we've been able to keep it small. We've grown, but we've grown throughout the year, not Euphoria weekend. It's not been about how do we get 20,000 people through the doors. It's been about like, how can we make this impact? How can we have the chefs come and have a good time? And we constantly hear that from the chefs.
Yes, for sure. And especially locally, the chefs we get to highlight. I mean, we bring chefs from out of town, but at this point, it's more local chefs than out-of-town chefs that are featured during the festival weekend.
Y'all have done a lot, because you watch all these other Charleston, all these, and it's just all about big headliners. I love that y'all have been able, and you got to bring people from out because that brings other people in. But you seem to get the ones that they get excited about coming to, that they can work with.
We have chefs that have come years after years. I mean, all years since I've been here, all years since Morgan's been here. So it's amazing that they want to continue to come back to Greenville and to our festival.
Yeah, I mean, well, and y'all, I'm sorry, I keep stepping on. Emmy's really supposed to be leaving, and I get excited.
I was supposed to
and
just
then
be
I go,
sitting here drinking
We
coffee.
really have to tell him, but now I'm being the one.
No, I mean, we could, what would you say? All of these incredible things that maybe ask this question of each other. What are each of y'all's? Would you say your superpowers of like how to bring Euphoria together?
I mean, Alexandra is literally one of the most organized people I've never met in my life. I thought I was pretty organized, and as you get older, you kind of like lose the control aspect a little bit more of like everything doesn't have to be perfect. She has not lost that in the 8-9 years that I've been working with her. She literally is the most organized person, and I think that helps going into Euphoria weekend of like it is a stressful environment, but when you're organized and you kind of know where the pieces are and are able to communicate that to other people, I think that is absolutely Alexandra's superpower going into Euphoria weekend.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Well, that's always amazing because I'm not real good at that. But when you have people that are, it is amazing. So that's a good.
For sure. And for Morgan, I would say, obviously, as the executive director, she carries a lot of weight on her shoulders and stress and everything, but no guest will ever know if she's upset or if she's putting out a fire. She always has a smile on her face and is very good about making sure everyone's having a good time no matter what's going on behind the scenes.
Write that down.
Yeah, you need to write that.
That's the restaurant background for sure.
What would you say over the years has been, something that was a risky decision or felt very risky at the time when making some changes with the vision or, where Euphoria was going, that really turned out to be a surprising benefit to everything? Is there one in particular?
For me, there definitely is, and I think that was COVID. We really struggled because obviously COVID happened, in March earlier that year, and we thought, by September everything is going to be perfectly
even by
fine.
April, we were still planning roast and toast.
Right. So I think for us, it was really, if we don't have this year, can we regroup? And we just didn't know. Being so small, we didn't have a rainy day fund at all. And it was like, if we're going to move forward and keep the festival and maintain it for the future, like we have to do something. So I feel like the board and the staff, we all pivoted really hard and made sure we had some safe events where we still were bringing in funds and people were able to get out and feel safe doing so. And I really feel like that was a pivoting point for the festival, because if we wouldn't have had that in 2020, then we might not be around right now. And from that, we also learned a lot, right? I think we all did as businesses or just, for us, we needed to have a rainy day fund. Being a nonprofit, you really don't think about that sometimes. And that hit us really hard, like financially, of like, we got to start saving some pennies because one day this happens again, we can't think it either. We have to have the festival or we're going to go under. And that's where we were.
I got to ask, this is maybe a little uncomfortable, but affordability. And it's funny because I know, maybe because we've been involved with it, there is a lot of ways for people to get involved. And there are a lot of affordable events to go to. But then again, supply and demand, classes are limited, prices do go up. And I hear like you guys are always kind enough to provide tickets, and we'll give them to clients and things like that. And they're like, oh, well, I would never be able to go. And I'm like, I don't think you're really looking into the event because they just see the big dollar tickets. Right. Talk about it is affordable, and talk about the affordability of Euphoria.
Well, I agree with you. I think sometimes you just look at one price and you're like, oh, wow, that's really expensive.
Yeah, I can't go.
And I can't. But when you really think about it, it includes all the food, all the beverages, all the entertainment. And when you add that up, I mean, I know my husband and I can't go to dinner for $300 between the two of us if we want a couple of drinks, dinner and app. So, you might spend a little bit more on that, but it also includes the gratuity. You got to know you're giving back to the community, you're supporting our festival. So I think you have to look at it as like multifaceted and not just like, here's this ticket price. We also try really hard to have some incredibly affordable events, like Feast by the Field being the one that sticks out in my mind for $105, $110. Yeah. It's 4 hours of eating and drinking and
35 chefs, 60 beverage tastings.
So, we definitely get that, but we attend a lot of events too outside of Greenville, and we're like, wow, that is really expensive, so we try really hard to not like necessarily nickel and dime everybody, which is why sponsorships really come in handy so that we can keep those ticket prices lower, because if we don't have that, then the ticket price is going to have to increase every year. And as we all know, it's getting more expensive in the world. Food costs are up, traveling in and out of the festival, just the expenses just grow every single year. And it's incredibly hard. Probably one of the most challenging parts is just figuring out how we can try to stay affordable, knowing that the expenses are constantly rising.
Yeah.
We fight that too, all the
Go to
time.
IHOP. Could just go. Yeah. I mean, you go to, like, did I just pay $60 for pancakes? Did that just happen?
Well, and with Euphoria, how I feel like with a lot of our cooking classes, you're not just paying for dinner, you're paying for the experience.
Right.
And that's where, I'm like, oh, we're undervalued. Like in a lot of ways, like, what you'll provide, like you could be charging way more than that when you think about all the drinks, the food, the talent, the music, everything like that. It's incredible. But speaking of that, from a marketing perspective, what is your goal, or how do you really push the vision of Euphoria and make people realize what it is without losing that intimacy?
Yeah, I think what is beneficial to Euphoria is that we are smaller. So, for example, we do Instagram takeovers on our Instagram, where a chef or a beverage partner logs into our Instagram for the day and posts on our Instagram stories about the event they're participating in, their restaurant, what a day in the life, all of these things. And it makes it so much more intimate, and we see such great interaction with that. But on the flip side, we can also highlight the nonprofits that we support constantly and the impact we're making, as well as keeping it organic and fun. We don't never want to come off stuffy or like unapproachable. So we always try to throw in those fun posts and different things like that, and not all salesy either.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a festival or something that you guys look at? I mean, we talk about this a lot. I'm like, I look at other appliance stores in other areas, and I'm like, I'll steal that, or I like the way they do that, or I benchmark against. Is there other events you guys benchmark
Oh,
against?
absolutely. Yes. So we definitely try to have some sort of professional development every year where we pick a different festival. We attend Charleston Wine and Food quite a bit, just because they're so rare in the fact that they're a nonprofit like us.
Yeah.
So many festivals nowadays are owned by a large company that owns 4 or 5 different festivals. So they can get one sponsorship and, push it across all 5 festivals, throughout the country. So to find someone that's kind of more similar to us would be Charleston Wine and Food in the respect of a nonprofit, but they are also like 4 or 5 times the size of us. So we're always looking for great events. And when we found a Southern Smoke Foundation out of Houston, we just raved about it. We loved it. We felt that it had the connection that we have. Like, it was community. They reached out to us about how cool it was that we were coming to the event. So it really felt like more of our event and building those relationships. Yeah. So, but then of course, you go places and you're like, they don't have enough trash cans. The things that you think about, you'll constantly see us like touching a sign and being like, how did this get hung up there? So, it's always interesting, especially if Mary Frances is with us. She's always like, I'm going to try to sneak in the back and see what I can find and like see how the chefs are, stationed back there. So, it is always fun to go check out other festivals and, see if you can kind of get any pointers or even sometimes what not to do.
Well,
Exactly. I'm like, even when I go to weddings, like I'm like looking up, not that we do florals, I'm like, oh, how did they attach this? It's like, or I'm flipping over all of the tableware, like, is this for Tessa? Who is this?
Right.
But speaking of, the things that you're always looking at behind the scenes that the community does not notice or see, what, unveiling, taking that back, what's something, some big things from behind the scenes that you think, guests would never realize happen to make this come together?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head earlier, the late nights. There's a lot of, there's not enough hours in the day, especially leading up to the festival. Sometimes you can only do these things 6 weeks out because you don't have the information until then, like the chefs, what dishes they're doing. So like all the signage, all the things. So there's a lot of late nights, early mornings, weekends. There's sometimes tears, there's sometimes screaming, whatever you got to do to like get the stress out. We all work differently on, how we get, relieve the stress. But I think that's one of the things a lot of people don't realize is there's just 9 million moving parts and everything has to stay organized. And when there's a small team, that can be really hard to do. Yeah.
It also sucks. Well, it doesn't suck, but it also makes it a little harder. It's not like when you first started where it was downtown, confined in a city block, and when things go wrong, everybody's there to fix it. You got different events, different places, moving people. I mean, that's got to be a lot harder.
What's been the biggest like, oh no, or maybe not the biggest one that y'all are comfortable sharing of like
non-cook station related.
Never the cook station.
what's been oh no, we have a problem, and you know, any one of those funny moments y'all want to share with us?
I want to call it funny, but
Yeah.
last year, Feast by the Field, which is obviously our largest tasting event,
Yes.
the 35 chefs, 60 beverage tastings at the ball field, throughout the concourse, on the field, rain.
Yeah.
Unexpected rain. You know, I looked up, I happened to be at the Champions Club, and I could see north, and I was like, looks really dark.
Yeah.
And so Jim Cantori's here all weekend,
Yes.
right? And so I'm like trying to call Jim to see if he can like look at his radar, and he was actually on our culinary stage being a guest judge or hosting, and so he wasn't answering my calls. And about that time, we saw the lightning, and it was like, oh no, the wind picked up, and so you were on the field.
I was on the field. We had to get everyone off the field. Tents started flipping, so I was drenched on the field, flipping tents back over, getting them down, making one of our event team members stay undercover because she should have not been running around like I was. It was insane.
And I think one thing
Yeah.
you just
And
got to
just
learn from
flipping
that
it.
is
Yeah.
like your plan B, right? Like we always have a rain plan, but we necessarily didn't have a lightning plan, which is
Right.
very different because people can't be under tents.
Mhm.
You know, when it's a rain plan, it's like everyone go under a tent, but then it's lightning and you can't be under a tent. So it was like one of those moments, like in that very moment, we had to make some decisions.
Sure.
And then after that, we were like, okay, next year, lightning plan, like
Yes.
a rain plan and a lightning plan.
We had chefs push all their food up to the concourse where it was covered. Augusta Street Market was passing out sandwiches, like walking around. We had our beverage team move a bunch of beverages up to empty concession stands so we could keep serving the things that were on the field. Because at that point too, we thought maybe we can get back on the field because it drains so well, but we never got back on the field.
That makes my heart pound just even thinking about it. I mean,
Yeah.
it really does because there's nothing.
Yeah.
You couldn't do anything. And you
No,
know what? I think
no.
for her and I, especially her, she's learning more too. It's like the one thing you can't control is the weather. And her and I both can be control freaks a little bit.
Yes.
And so,
And you were just standing up because you were in a class and you were just watching it all.
and it was one of
happen.
those moments of like, I physically can't do anything right now. I just need to be calm for my team and like answer the questions to the best of my ability. And I think we did such a great job handling it. But again, it was something in hindsight, they were like, you can't plan for every moment.
No.
But now we do need to try to at least plan for some kind of, lightnings.
Yeah, learn from each year, right?
Yeah. I mean, no 2 years have been alike, so you always have to roll with the punches. But that one definitely hit us pretty
I
hard
could
last
see
year.
that on your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're telling about it. Those pretty big eyes got. Well, that's okay. Do you
Well, a lot
have a
of
video
times-
from running back?
Going into what you said, it's not like that's your only event that's going on. So you all have to put a lot of faith into the restaurants and event spaces that host, because I mean, there's been sometimes like there's not a Euphoria, one of y'all are not technically
Euphoria weekend, we're not on site at the cook station at all.
Yes, and so it's like, oh, y'all are putting a lot of trust in that.
Yeah, you really have to. I think that was a good point a while ago. I'm just saying, like, we're all throughout the Upstate now. So, like, with us being just a team of 5 and having these big events, I'm typically the only one that kind of floats around as much as possible to different events and check in on them. So we rely on our partners very heavily that they read their one sheets, that they're prepared to host the guest chef, have everything organized, and some places do it really well, like y'all, and some places don't, and you have to handhold
Oh
a little
no,
bit
there's
more. So,
still
like,
more. I'm like, Alexandra, what is this for? Or something. I'm like, oh my god, she probably has 7,000 of these text messages coming in.
Yeah, y'all are great to work with.
Especially personalities. I mean,
But yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
what's
not only the personality of the chef, but
The volunteers.
The volunteers. One volunteer having a bad day the ripples could just be, devastating.
What's one of the crazier requests that y'all have had from a chef or musician or partner?
I mean, the one that sticks out to my mind was actually my first year of Euphoria. I had a chef who ordered quail, and he told me he wanted me to personally count every one of his quail and make sure that he had the right number for the event. And I'm like, am I supposed to be doing this? So, and so I did. I got my hands and knees in Sobeys refrigerator, and I hand counted every single quail the day of the event, and there was 325 of them, by the way. And he ran out very early, and he questioned me if there was really 325 of them, and I was like, I literally counted each quail by hand. I still can't eat quail to this day because I was just like, there was so much quail going on. But it's like, sometimes you have to learn, and that was just me probably being naive of like saying, I can't do this. I don't have the time for this. Like, we'll have to figure something out. Like, I've grown in that respect. But I think we get a lot of like last minute requests.
Yes. One in particular request doesn't stand out in my mind, but it's the last minute request. Calls, text messages to me during load-in at Party in the Park they want something for Feast by the Field or for Party in the Park that night. And it's the last minute requests that always give me. And we always do our best to try and figure it out, but we can only do so much.
Right.
Well, you'll do a great job of that because I feel like most of the time I have, the guests don't even realize those things are happening.
Like, y'all ran out of beer last year, and I figured out how to get you more beer. Yeah. So.
It wasn't me.
I saw John in the cooler the night before.
Kind of this perfect mafia thing. It came in one door, I sold it, it went right out the other. Yeah, at the end of this, you have an after action plan. I mean, do you guys sit for a month after that and just sit there and go, oh, dude, that went totally bad? I mean, do you guys just keep a...
Yeah. I mean, we try to like kind of keep notes to ourselves too, Euphoria weekend, and then everyone's always like, oh, tomorrow y'all get to rest, but then it takes like the stuff that took 3 weeks to kind of get together all goes back out in 3 days, but it's just us then. Like, we lose all the volunteers, we lose all the board members, and so it's like us running around to pick up all the stuff at the restaurants, and so people don't understand, like, I've seen her in the trash can, like trying to push down the trash can to get more trash in. I have cleaned
the dumpster.
I cleaned the grills that the chefs didn't clean at my house on Monday. So like it takes us 3 or 4 days, and then literally we will sleep for like
inventorying all the beverages.
Yeah. And then we'll take a little time off, and then we basically, we just start regrouping. We have our notes. Then you start hearing things from other people, too, that didn't tell you things like, oh, did you know this happened? I'm like, well, no, if I knew that happened before your weekend, like, I would have taken care of it, or I would have made a different decision. And they're like, but we don't know everything.
Sure.
So you constantly start hearing back from all the restaurants or partners about what happened. So we try to recap with everyone. We like to say in October, and then we hit the ground running November 1st, but for the next year. But doesn't always work out that well.
No, there's a million things that happen after the festival, like sorting through pictures and then sharing those with partners and different things like that. Like, there's so many different things outside of just cleaning up the festival that we have to do as well.
When's the next? So, and I should know this, but so that stopped. You're getting that clean. When's the next thing happen? Like the next event? It seems pretty close.
So we typically try to do something in the fall, like a dinner.
Okay.
Well, fall, more winter, like end of November kind of thing.
I think that's what's on my mind. It seems like
we usually do like one dinner.
Okay.
To close out the year, and then we hit the ground running for the new year, and we try to do something at least once a month leading up to September again.
I mean, that's a lot.
It is.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's never ending.
No, it's a never ending, so you don't get really that break. Except, like you said, you can sleep after 3 weeks in, sleep for a week, and then you're...
Yeah, we kind of push ourselves where we take Thanksgiving off. So we all just tell ourselves, like, push really hard, and then we'll take the whole week of Thanksgiving off to regroup. But let's push through October and November. And, there's definitely a lot of times where it's like 2 p.m. Like, we're taking a nap. But, you try really hard to push yourself. And then, again, you're starting to plan for the next year already. And with us, like, budgets, with sponsors, like, they start November 1 a lot of times. So we have to turn it around pretty quickly, which is also what makes it challenging to, like, change a lot of the events for the next year.
Keep it fresh.
I mean, that's really a challenge that we deal with every year is, like, should we change up this event next year? Well, you basically have 2 weeks to make up your mind because the sponsor that wants to sponsor it wants to know if it's going to be the exact same because they liked it or didn't like it. So sometimes it just happens organically. Like, we just kind of roll with it and hope for the best.
Yeah. Some bring us ideas. Sometimes we just see things like at other festivals kind of thing. Sometimes people reach out literally a week before tickets go on sale and have an idea, but we're like, our schedule is finalized.
Yeah.
So it's really just us seeing what sticks when we're throwing it all together.
Yeah, I think people don't realize how early you start planning. To her point, they start reaching out in March and April, and we're like, we're finalizing the schedule at this point because tickets are going on sale at the end of the month. So at this point, we're just like trying to fine tune those pieces we already have together. So like, if you have an idea, you better bring that idea in like November, or January at the
And then
latest.
you guys have to vet the idea.
Yeah.
You know, does it fit our mission? Does it not fit our mission? And then kind of, that's got to be hard because you don't want it to get stale.
Right.
But at the same time, you're like, hey, this works and time frame's limited, so let's just do this is the game plan. How does it go? Because if I change.
Yeah, the conversations her and I have sometimes are pretty funny just to listen to, like, are we going to move forward with this or not? Like, are they going to help us with this? Do we think people will like it? And again, sometimes they just come organically. Other times we're trying to make things, happen because there's a trend going on or whatever the case may be. But
what was the biggest bust you had? There had been something like, we had an event and boy, that just went over like a window. There's got to be one.
We've had a couple of dinners like that I can think of in particular. I'm not going to call any chefs out or restaurants, but when people are paying a premium price, to your point, like about affordability, especially like Michelin dinners, they're taking 5 or 6 hours. One year, literally the dinner went till midnight and it started at 6. And people were not happy for the price point that they paid. And it's like, well, what can I physically do about that right now? In your mind, you're just like, you feel hopeless. Like, I can't get back there and yell at these Michelin-starred chefs to move faster. And, you go back there and they're like plating like 50 components with their chopsticks, and it's like for 100 people. And you're like, well, that's why it's taking forever, but I can't relay that to the guests. So like, I feel like there's just always a lot of things that like happen that you just feel like are out of your control.
Yes, for sure.
And luckily most of the time we can try to make things happen, but dinners sometimes are the ones that we'll get the complaints on of how long
The
it
high
took,
ticket dollar ones.
or I didn't like that meal, like it wasn't to my level. I've been to a lot of Michelin restaurants around the world and it's like, well, they don't have their whole team here. They're traveling here. Like, it's all to preference.
And it's so subjective, too.
Right, it
It's
is.
like arguing the color blue. I mean, how do you, well, that meal wasn't up to, what do you mean it
And
wasn't up to
I know
date?
y'all know this too, just being in the people-pleasing business, you try to do the best you can, but you can't please everyone. And that's why I keep telling my team all the time is like, you can't beat yourself up all the time. Like, you can make 90% of the people happy 90% of the time. I think you do really, really well.
Is it 90%?
I mean, that's what I strive for.
I'm about 33%. And I just write off the rest of society.
Well,
that's why Kelly keeps me hidden in the back. This is how it works so well.
you got to have a little bit of the opposite. That's what balances you, right?
You gotta have that.
There is negative, but you'll bring in such incredible talent locally and then, some from outside. But is there anyone that comes to mind? I'm sure there's plenty, but that has been like, y'all met them and you're like, oh man, this is going to be good. And then they blew up or, chefs wise.
Just
Like, blew up in a good way?
Just like you feel like they really had Euphoria was their runway show of like letting the world see their talent or the nation. Is there any chef in, particular?
Yeah, so one that comes to mind, Dallas McGarity out of Louisville, Kentucky. He has the Fat Lamb in a new restaurant as well. He's been coming to Euphoria.
My first year was his first year, so this will be his 11th year.
And he comes back every single year, and he's just a light. Like, he's so great. And he was nominated for James Beard, and then I think he's been on some TV shows.
Yeah, and he does a lot with the Kentucky Derby now. Like, he's really blown up in Kentucky and very well known. He always wears his Euphoria apron to anything that he's on. Like, he was like on the national news and we're like texting, we're like, thank you for wearing your Euphoria apron. But he's just so humble, and to like kind of watch him, and he never comes back and is like pretentious about anything and wants to do party in the park every year for us, and
which is feeding 1,200 people.
Yeah. So to see him like really like kind of skyrocketing his career since he started with Euphoria it's really cool to see.
Feels good. It's like our baby. Like we did that one.
But I think there's a lot of chefs like that come back to the festival year after year, and they really, they get the spotlight of James Beard or Michelin now. And we have a lot of chefs that, credit Euphoria for that because of the media guests we bring in or the attention that they might get from it. So it's always great to hear that from the chefs that like, that's why they like coming back here.
Of course.
Well, you watch
and I'm sure there's some that you probably don't want to.
Oh, that's definitely a blacklist.
I mean, we may or may not have had one or two. Everyone's been great.
But it's neat seeing the people too, because we'll hear a lot of people y'all have come from out of town, thank goodness, or look for a kitchen store, so they're coming in. And but it's neat to see the ones that come back every year. I mean, that blows my mind because I always try to work that weekend on the floor, and it amazes me how many people show up year after year from all over.
Yeah.
That's hard to keep it fresh and new for that.
Do you guys have a menu item that you just strike? I mean, do they
Quail.
present?
Not too much quail.
Yeah, not too much quail. I mean, do they tell you what you're going to do, and you're like, dude, listen, you're not doing that.
You know, I realized that the theme this year is squab.
I saw that come through.
There you
That-
go.
and I was
Small,
like,
flightless game birds.
How much squab can we have Euphoria weekend without people kind of being like, oh, that was the one I've noticed this
So it's
year.
like a trend,
It is. So
and then all these chefs just jump on this
Right.
trend.
One year
and
was
I got-
pork belly. That's what I was going to say. The year of the pork belly.
We've seen that.
For signature events, it's easy to track a little bit more because obviously dinners, there's like 60 plus menus that we have to design. So, and dinners are a little bit different than signature events where it's tasting tables. So when those chef needs forms come in with the menu items, we track it all. And like if there's too much quail, we say no more quail, no more chicken. We need a vegetarian dish. Right. And we also
So you
ask,
do have a say a little bit.
We
We
try
try. Or like, is your
the
dish
decision.
able to be made vegetarian if requested on site?
Yeah.
Like we love when they can be easily modified too.
Yeah, we try to stay on top of it just to offer, diversity, especially in the larger events. The seated events are a little different, but, there's always something that seems to like be the thing all the chefs want
Yes.
to do. And I think 2 years in a row it was the pork belly.
Yes.
And
Our July event, peaches.
Oh yeah.
Peaches.
Yeah.
And it was perfect.
Do the
We
food
can't have
vendors-
any more peaches.
Yeah, do the food vendors ever look at the, dude, we don't have that. We don't have
Well, we
that.
also share the list of what's been submitted so they
Yeah.
know before they submit too. So
Okay.
we kind of, but not everyone also looks at everything I send.
Right.
So
I feel like,
the mercy of
there's a
people
lot of
reading.
similarities too with, we do 70 plus events at the cook station each month, and I trust our chefs. So we wouldn't have them at the cook station if we didn't trust them. You'll probably feel the same way. So I try and stay as hands off as possible with like a little like, hey, like we're charging $125 for this, and there's only one protein in the whole X, Y, and Z. But it's like you'll bring these chefs in for a reason. You have to give them their free will, and sometimes the ones that I'm like, this menu, I'm gonna let you do it because I trust you, but like I don't think it's gonna go that great. It's like I hear people talking about it for months to come, and I'm
We've
like,
seen
see,
menus
they
like
know,
that,
yeah.
they know. I've got to just
It is hard.
let go sometimes
Right.
and have faith, and it works most of the time.
Do you do that
These guys
because your
work.
palate's different? Like if somebody had something, you're like, dude, that just doesn't. Why did?
I just try and be practical in my like A, B, C, D,
Yeah.
of let's not go from hot to cold to squid to, depending on what it is. I have my rational thinking, but they're a creative for a reason. Like they work with their hands for a reason, and our thinkings are just different. And I don't for a reason.
Yeah,
I try and keep
or else
it
I'd be on that
organized.
side. I'd be the same way. You really gonna do that?
We try to think about it like we hear a lot of feedback, right? So like, if people go to the dinners every night, we often will hear like, can we not have a dessert wine for every single dinner? Like, could we maybe mix it up and do a cocktail that night?
Yeah.
So like, those are things we think about, especially like Michelin dinners, because we're not ever going to go back and tell a Michelin chef they can't do something.
Of course.
But we also try to be like, hey, these same group of people do the dinner the night before, so maybe that menu could tweak a little bit because this one is a little too similar. But sometimes the chefs are going to come back and say no.
Yeah,
And you just have to be okay with that.
roll with
you know?
it.
So,
Yeah,
Well, there's enough out there that
yeah.
if the people have enough to eat, they
Yes.
have enough to they can.
And they're
walk-
not going a bad.
They're not going. Yeah,
Right.
they're not being. Yeah, they're not putting at a disadvantage in any way. And
Yes.
you just kind of just nod and go.
What's your favorite event? Like out of the weekend, do y'all have a favorite? What is it? The very last one, just because it's.
No, we like Sunday supper at 10 p.m. Just kidding. My favorite event is probably Party in the Park, just from like the energy standpoint. Like I don't get to go, but it's up like 30 minutes. But when I do show up, it just seems like there's so much energy. People are dancing or singing, enjoying the food. So I think just being out on the ball field too, like there's just something about that event that every year I'm like, I love love this event. It's probably become one of my favorites.
That one's fun. We've gotten to go a couple times, and I've really enjoyed that one.
And having the music component there get bigger has been great as well. I mean, again, it's one of the most expensive pieces is the music component.
Sure.
So for a long time, we didn't necessarily have a headliner there, and we got questions of like, you're a food, wine, and music festival. But it's like, we just couldn't afford it. So we've been working really hard the last couple of years. Like last year, having St. Paul and the Broken Bones was really big for our 20th anniversary. This year, having Ripe. So, we're still trying to go down that route of having a headliner on Friday night, but something we're just going to have to look at year to year, just financially.
Yep, it's got to work.
It does.
I'm excited to go this year as an attendee.
Okay,
Good.
yeah,
Good.
yeah. Go hang out.
Are you going to go to that one?
Yes.
Good. Yes.
Yes, she is.
Yes. Are you getting away from the kids? Are you leaving them at home?
No children are allowed.
Oh,
Yes.
It's you're forcing.
Greenville in itself has had some big changes to the food scene, I feel like, we brought some light to Greenville this year. I feel like Euphoria has definitely had a hand in that. Do y'all think that, what do y'all feel like your contribution has been? Do you think that Euphoria has grown because the Greenville scene or the Greenville food scene's grown, or alternatively, or has it just worked hand in hand?
I mean, I think it's worked hand in hand. I mean, I definitely like to think that we have a hand in some of it with Top Chef and Michelin, bringing in media guests Euphoria weekend, working really closely with Visit Greenville to bring in media guests or to come up with dinners throughout the year to highlight different things. So I really think it's been together that we've grown. And I think people come to Greenville, and we were talking about this earlier, like Chef Michael Kramer came to Euphoria when he lived in Texas and just loved Greenville, which is why he moved back here and ultimately opened Gianna. Home team credits like coming to the festival and loving Greenville so much that they wanted to open up a location here. So I think we definitely have a hand in a lot of it, but it's been fun to kind of see Greenville grow, and we kind of want to grow alongside that, and especially all the restaurants and kind of becoming more of a foodie town. I definitely think that we play a role in that.
Yeah. And I think that it's what we've found with our clientele. It used to be, we've been here Kelly's been here almost 30, coming up on 30 years. And it used to be just the regulars, it was the regular customers. Now Greenville has become a destination. Like you'll come for a weekend trip, which, might have felt crazy when Euphoria first started, but it's like, it's not just Euphoria weekend that people come for food and wine, but I feel like you'll have helped it to be that destination.
Yeah, we hear a lot from people that say, they came to the festival, fell in love with Greenville, and now they're looking for a house or they're moving here. And, while that's great to see, it's also sometimes like, just come and visit. It's the good and bad of like the growing pains of Greenville. And I think that's one thing like we struggle with the festival too, of just as Greenville is growing, we are losing venues. We're losing opportunities to be in downtown. So we have to get creative. I mean, moving to the ball field completely was not something we anticipated doing or just thinking we'd do 1 year, but with the Peace Center changing and it's growing pains in Greenville that we are constantly dealing with as well as we're all kind of continuing to grow.
Sure. All right, let's talk about this year's event. What is maybe a new event that y'all are most excited about? Do y'all have a particular one in mind?
New event.
Or it can be an old, just an event that you're...
It's newer.
Okay.
Age Perfection. We started 2021. So it's one of our newer signature events. I love it. And it's one of the most talked about events after the festival weekend.
Tell us about, so what does Age to Perfection entail?
It's Thursday night, kicks off the weekend at events at Judson Mill. And it features 15 chefs, cocktails, beer, wine, randomoniums playing, which is super fun. And then global cuisine, street eats is the theme for the food this year. So the decor is always beautiful, and it's just a fluid event where people hang out and enjoy and eat and drink. So it's become one of my favorite events, especially just to kick off the weekend. It's not too many people. It's one of our smaller head count signature events. So I think that's always a great one.
Has it been at Judson Mill?
It's
a great place.
It was at Zen 1 year, but every other year it's been at Judson Mill.
Okay, that's a great.
Did you say earlier that it's getting harder because you're losing event spaces downtown?
We are.
That is just crazy to me because every time we even walked yesterday on the trail a little bit, I'm like, there's an event. It's like everybody has an event space. What do you mean by
I think
that?
it's mainly just the size of a lot
The
of
size,
them. You know,
I gotcha.
they're going to be like they're more intimate. And I think that's where weddings are going. You might see these occasional like really large weddings, but now like micro weddings have become this thing, or just even just smaller venues. So like to have 500 people to 1,200 people like we have at Party in the Park. I mean, there's really nowhere we can go besides Flora Field downtown. You know, hopefully in the future maybe we can transition back to the Peace Center now that some renovations are over, or just new venues are going to come up in the future hopefully. But it's the larger events.
Get on that.
Third story.
Third story.
That's like,
500. Yeah. Put that on the list.
We're here for it. We're here for it.
That's like, yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, it's challenging. I mean, restaurants, I feel like we have so many great partners and people that reach out to us every year, like, we want to host dinners, we want to host events, classrooms, lunches. So that's really great. But we tend to go back to the same places for our larger events just out of lack of somewhere to go. And again, that's just kind of the growing pains. I mean, we deal with parking issues on the west end of Greenville. We get a lot of people like, why do y'all have your events all down here and there's no parking? We're like, out of our control. Like, where else do you want us to go? Unless you want us to go outside of the city.
Also, you should be driving. Take
Exactly.
And then if you go to the convention center, then that's a whole different feel.
It
and
is.
just,
Right.
and then probably a lot more expense to try to make it look that way.
And we had our Saturday night event out in TR for a long time at Trailblazer Park. And while it was well attended, we had a lot of people that just kind of complained to us that it's too far outside of the city when they were staying in downtown hotels if they were tourists. And now that we've kind of grown more, it could be something we look at in the future to host events in TR, again, those larger events. But again, it's just like one of the challenges when you go to Charleston Wine and Food. I mean, there are times we've been up like Bowen's Island. It's 45 minutes.
Yeah, I was about to say,
You
it's-
have to Uber everywhere. And that also impacts your experience sometimes if you're constantly in the car spending money on Ubers. And so there's other things that we think about too of where we're going to host the event. So we love being central to downtown, but also having events like within the county limits or going out to the barn at Sit Hill Farm. And people have to learn to embrace it. So hopefully we'll continue in that direction.
Yeah.
So for someone who's never attended Euphoria before, and I know tickets are already gone, a lot of things are sold out, but just
There's
in
a
a
lot
perfect,
still on sale. Yeah, I promise.
there are still some on
You
sale.
can filter the website.
Yes.
All right. That's a good one. That's it. Hold it.
What would you pick out to be like your suggestion for the perfect Euphoria weekend? Like, how would you gear towards that? Signature events, the smaller classrooms. What's your suggestions?
Depends on what you like, right?
Yeah.
So like, I think a lot of times we suggest Feast by the Field as like a starting point, just because it is one of the more affordable options. You do get to experience a lot of it. But then you get a lot of people that are like, I like the intimate experiences. I don't want to be around 1,200 people or, having drinks and all this food in the middle of the day. So the opportunity to go to a guest chef dinner or a lunch. So, it's a hard question because we have so much to offer. And actually we just posted our digital magazine this week that we'll be sharing the link for, and it actually addresses that, like what events are the best for you, and it really depends on like, are you more the foodie? Do you like more intimate events? Do you like the headline chefs? Do you like music? And so then you can kind of tailor a little bit more. And we have people reach out to us all the time. And to your point of sold out events, like if you see an event you love that sold out, there's a couple of options. One, get on the wait list. We have a great wait list because tickets do turn over as we get closer. People bought tickets in April, so they might need to sell them because they're no longer able to attend. Or reach out to us and we can give you a similar suggestion of like, if you liked this for this reason, here's this other event. Because I feel like we have a lot of events that are still on sale that are kind of sleeper events that I'm shocked they're not sold out, but I think it's more.
What's one in particular you think
So,
that you're shocked is still?
Into the Wild is probably one that is at the top of my list on Saturday night at Saskatoon. It's really about foraging and wild game, and it's just like one of our most unique events of the weekend. And we have the Honey Badger coming down from New York, and they're very well known in New York, and they're an amazing couple that are coming down. So I was really surprised that one hasn't sold out yet. I think the other one is Ember and Tide.
Ember and Tide, yes, that one I think is going to be so cool. We have Nadav Greenberg from Oresh in New York, and then Brandon Solomon from Fort Lauderdale coming. Our first Lebanese chef that we've ever had join us for the festival weekend.
Amazing.
So,
And apparently one of Taylor Swift's favorite restaurants.
I saw a
TikTok.
TikTok of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce coming out of Oresh in New York.
With takeout food.
With takeout food.
I'm like, it's got to be good if they're taking home take-home food, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's really cool.
So yeah, there's
All
still
it
a lot.
takes is them walking out of somewhere. It's going to be sold out soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know. I need to figure out how to reshare. I'm still trying to figure out how to reshare this TikTok that some random person posted that popped up on my feed.
How many total events?
89.
89. Wow. So there is something for somebody somewhere at a price point and an availability.
Yeah.
89
Yes.
events is
And they're also different too, like Morgan was saying. Like the lunches, no single one's the same. We have one about hot dogs, and then we have Rose Who Rose. That's
Hot
all
dogs?
Rose and
Hot dogs, yeah.
At Lefties.
Winner takes all.
Over at Lefties?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
With
Yeah.
Meredith
Hot
Boss and the Lefties team.
Yep. Hot dog competition.
That sounds...
That sounds like us.
Yeah.
That's,
You should check it out.
You know, it's so funny, like, I forgot about, I think about 80-something events, and like that's one of those places, Kelly and I, that place is packed, and it's a really cool environment. I love where it is. It's, they have, I think, some sort of sustainable food thing in the back, and it's so funny. We've been in Greenville, we forget
haven't been
about.
to the new one.
Yeah, we haven't been to the new
Wow.
one.
Not really
Okay,
new.
you need to go.
Yeah.
That's
But it's so funny. So events like this kind of remind us, oh yeah, I forgot that out there on Woodruff Road, or not Woodruff Road. Haywood Road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would highly suggest it. I ate
That's
there
a
not
pretty
long
cool
ago,
thing.
and it's so great. It's just different and unique,
Yeah.
and I think that's what makes it so great in Greenville is to showcase
Yeah,
all the
those kind of
different
things.
events we have.
Well, and we're so old school. We forget you have to make reservations in this town, and we don't.
Yes.
We just don't think about it. I'm like,
Yeah, we
"Hey,
showed up. The
hey."
place was
Yeah,
packed.
that's like, I mean, we still go to the
Your
Carolina at
IHOP.
night and IHOP. So we want to do better.
All right, so let's move into our kind of quick round.
Yeah.
No overthinking it, or you can share as much as you want. But what would be your perfect Euphoria bite and beverage?
Gosh, that's such a hard question because we tend to
don't.
eat Sphinx chicken fingers. We live off the Sphinx Market chicken
Yes.
fingers the
Yes.
whole week of
Yes.
Euphoria for the protein
Nuggets.
equipment.
They have nuggets
They have
now.
We haven't
there.
tried the nuggets
Oh,
yet.
nuggets.
nuggets.
I think that's what people don't realize is like we don't eat during the events.
Yeah.
As I was saying,
All
like
right.
Chef T's fried chicken is what everyone always raves about, and I'm like, well, I'm not
Never
going to stand
had
in
it.
that line.
Yeah. If Poppy's is at Party in the Park, I always grab a traveling taco just because it's easy to eat while I'm running around.
And lots of water. That is like the key for the weekend is lots and lots of water.
Yeah, that's a good thing to tell your staff. We try to do that at Christmas. Drink water, drink water.
That's pretty much us. Chicken strips and
And water.
That's pretty much the
That's
fine.
okay. Any
Okay,
cake I can
yeah,
pull
sweet.
out.
We need to get like Sphinx to sponsor us of chicken fingers for the week for the office because literally we're always like, just go down and get chicken fingers.
Yeah.
So basically what we live off of, unfortunately, Euphoria weekend.
We understand that. I think Christmas time, I looked at Kelly this past Christmas, and it was, that's our Super Bowl time. And I looked at Kelly and I said, we are going to die.
Yeah, she said you were going to die.
We have been living off chocolate, like expired
We're gonna
chocolate.
die.
Yeah. It was expired chocolate that was in a drawer, and like coffee too much. And I was
And
like,
hot
we
dogs.
cannot. Oh, and hot dogs.
Oh,
and I was
hot
like,
dogs. Don't
we
forget
cannot
that's
keep
our
eating
medicine.
like this.
Yes,
Right.
no. And we kept eating like that.
It's
but
hard when
sugar
you're going.
changed.
Yeah.
It is.
All right. What is one of the signature events that you wish that you could attend versus work?
Feast by the Field. It's a nightmare to work. At least leading up to. Once 12:30 hits, whatever happens is going to happen.
Every time I see a trash can full now, I'm going to think about having to figure out how to push that trash can and jump in it.
It was a
I've
dumpster.
never thought of that.
It was the dumpster behind Flora Field that I climbed into.
Oh, that is hilarious. I didn't think
Little
about
arts
it.
interest.
Like literally climbing into it.
Oh,
Do you want us to send an employee to follow you around?
I'm gonna need one this year.
We already were working on it because I told her, you cannot be doing that stuff this year. Okay?
Yeah, you call us. We'll get you somebody out there.
Party in the Park I'll probably go back to again. I would love to
You're
attend
only
that
ever there
event.
for 30
I
minutes.
only
if
get
that.
and to your point, I usually will hit up the Sphinx cluck truck if it's there.
I
or
find you
Poppy's.
with one.
Yeah, and I see it and I leave. So I always thought like that's an event I would love to really see the whole thing and be able to stay and not work.
Yeah. All right. What are the most comfortable shoes you've discovered while working at Euphoria? Because y'all are on your
None.
feet.
None.
We actually
I change them every single day.
Yeah.
Sometimes during the day too, I'll have to switch out my shoes.
Yeah, you know, you're just on your feet so much,
Ever
running
end
around
up
and
barefoot?
everything. No, thankfully not. Well, I might have when I've
You can jump in a dumpster barefoot.
Right?
I'm in
do
tennis
that.
shoes the whole time, so I have like 6 pairs of tennis shoes I rotate.
Because
throughout
isn't
the
it funny
weekend.
how you do have to change them?
Oh,
Even
yes.
at Christmas or at market and things like that. You can't wear the same ones. You have to rotate them because
you
your
do.
feet start swelling here.
Yeah, and
So you
my
have to
foot,
do
I already
that.
have a swollen foot that's constantly swollen, so it just exacerbates Euphoria weekend, and
That's-
then this makes it even,
Oh,
it even worse this year.
Yeah.
Well, and so Monkeys helps dress me Euphoria weekend. So I dress up a little bit more. And last year, maybe 2 years ago, I guess it was, she had a pair of heels for me. And on Saturday night, I was
You just
like,
laughed at her.
Jenny, there's no way this foot is fitting in these heels and I'm walking down the street. Like, it's got to be tennis shoes or sandals or something along those lines.
I
because
do
it's too much.
love when you'll send out the ticket reminders and things like that, and I think that they're posted other places as well, but I love that Monkeys does, that you'll include what to wear, because I think that's a big thing that people, you don't want to be overdressed, you don't want to be
Right.
underdressed, what are the vibes
And what is
here?
Southern casual?
You're right.
We don't even.
I know,
we
we're always
leave
having
it
to
up
Google,
Monkeys.
like, how do you say this attire?
But you'll actually do, Monkeys does, or you, in partnership with y'all, like they do a great job putting like pictures of like this is the
Yes.
looks, and
No,
here are a
that's
few
been
options.
very, very helpful. Because we don't also even have to come up with a name for it. Just like, here's pictures.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
So it's great. But then we started getting the men. So we're going to maybe work on like a men's, because we've had a lot of men like, well, then what do I wear? And I'm like, I don't know. Like,
That's
your life. I don't know.
Don't text me the day of the event asking.
Yeah, we did
because
that
I
a lot
have
of
friends that would do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, text my husband. He can help you.
All right, what is a chef that would be on your dream list to bring into Euphoria? Do either of y'all have someone that's like a bucket list chef?
So Michelle Bernstein would be at the top of my list. I've wanted her from day one. Her and Danielle Boulud were my two when I came into Euphoria that I wanted. And I was a little starstruck to have Danielle Boulud here a few years ago. And he was the nicest, like most down to earth, super involved. We work with a lot of chefs that we work with our team and not them personally. And he got on that Zoom call and Alexandra and I were like,
Yeah, he said my
Zoom
name.
call.
And I was like,
And he was just so personable, friendly, and for how big he is, it was just like really cool to work with him. So Michelle Bernstein, I mean, I've always been somebody that's been in the food and beverage industry, and so kind of older school chefs I've watched and grew up with, and she would be one. I'm not sure that she's cooking as much as she used to, but my bucket list would be to have her.
yeah. For me, I've always wanted chubby fish to come, and this year, James London is coming, which I'm super excited about.
Yay.
He's a chef ambassador this year, and
Okay.
obviously was just nominated for James Beard
Yes.
and got Michelin recognized. So super excited to have him join us this year.
A check off the list.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's great. All right. One musician you'd lose your mind to book for Euphoria.
Well, you know what's funny is going through all of the events the last couple of years and the musicians and how expensive they are. You know, last year for the 20th anniversary, we had like this bucket list, and then we got the price back and we're like, that's like 50 times our price.
Good
Like,
question.
what? And it blew board members' minds. One I was really trying to push for was Revivalist. I thought it would be really cool, but blew my mind how expensive they were with our little budget. So unfortunately we didn't get to have them, but I'd love to have them.
Yeah. For me, which I wish we had discovered them last year because we probably could have gotten them last year. Fits in the Tantrums.
Okay.
They have that hand clap song that I just think would be so much fun at Party in the Park, and people would just have a great time. So that's what the ones on mine.
Love it. All right. One word to describe Euphoria weekend.
I mean, I think it's kind of in the name. I think it's euphoric. I think people enjoy it. I think they come back year after year because they meet friends, and there's some people that have become friends because they've met at Euphoria. And so it's so great to hear the story, and it helps us as well. Like when we're tired and exhausted, but people are telling you how great something is or the connections they've made, it does help energize you as well.
That is my favorite thing about just having a business there in the cooking school, because through the years, and Lord knows it was tiny when we started, but it's the stories of people meeting up. There is something about that just does your heart good when you're in this business, and the friendships made over food, which obviously we all love, so that's my, and putting people together. I'm with you on that. I think that's a great one.
Yeah. And mine would be, even with climbing on the trash cans and everything, rejuvenating. Just seeing like all the chefs come together and everyone having a great time, like it makes it all so worth it. And it just all comes together.
That's
After all
gotta
the
feel
hard work.
good.
Yeah.
It is. I think that's why we all kind of continue this. Like, we have a passion for it, and to see it all come together, like,
I'm a little crazy.
we have to know we're a little crazy to keep doing it, but to see the outcome is really what helps push you the next year.
You know, it was weird. You were saying that.
I never trust you.
No. Food and bev background. What was your background?
So when I interned for Euphoria, I was a graphic communications major at Clemson.
Yeah.
And I needed an internship. You had to have 2 internships before you graduated. And I found Euphoria. I knew I wanted to do events. I didn't want to do printing or graphic design. We kind of sold the internship that it would count as graphic design. Like, I'd be reviewing signage and all this stuff. And I handled all the talent as an intern because no one was in my position at that time. I worked the festival weekend. Morgan and I met in October of 2018. She told me she wanted me on her team. And then I started full time. So I came to Euphoria straight out of college. I had worked at Groucho's. That was my food and beverage background.
That's our favorite word.
Yeah, I love Groucho's. And
It's just funny to me because now after
Is there a
talking to you
Groucho's in
guys,
Clemson?
yes.
yes,
I was
I'm from Columbia, so I'm like,
She's
I
not
feel like
acting
I
out.
grew up on.
Well,
That
I'm from
sounds like a
Columbia too, and they
betrayal.
were everywhere.
Yeah.
is that a betrayal? Groucho's is now in Clemson. Is that a straight betrayal?
No, I was just, I didn't, I
Columbian.
guess
Yep. It's
Columbia,
right up on the
Ida?
hill.
well,
downtown.
even up here, I'm like, oh, let's order Groucho's or whatever, because that's
Anderson?
like my comfort.
It's a huge thing in Columbia.
It
but
is.
yes. I worked at Groucho's every year in college, and then I even helped a little bit after I graduated, and I helped them with the one in Anderson that my old boss opened.
Very
and
cool.
pick up some
That
shifts.
was very nice. Too, by the
It
way.
is very nice.
But it just dawned on me that after talking to you, this is huge, and
Yeah.
for you two lovely ladies to get thrown into this. I mean, it is different than food and bev. I mean, this event it's food and bev related, but it really isn't food and bev. And somebody that comes out of school and just gets dumped into something as huge as that, and figure it out as you go. You guys have really done a fantastic job.
Well, thank you. And Mary Frances is the same way. She interned with the festival and then came on. So it's been their first jobs out of school has been with Euphoria, and they've kind of just rolled with the punches, and like it's been fun to like
We've all
watch them
grown up
grow up.
together,
They were 22 when they started, and Alexandra being 30 and having a baby. It's just like kind of come full circle of like watching them kind of grow up. Like I feel like they call me Mama Bear sometimes. I don't like that. But it feels that way, and we've gotten really close because of it, because there are struggles, and but then we also get to have a lot of laughs, and looking forward to doing that with them as we go into the festival. Like, you got to make sure you laugh along the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Well, thank you guys so much for
Yes.
joining us today. We appreciate all that you do for the community, all the fun and exciting events you let the Cook Station host. And so we're excited to have another successful year 21.
I promise not to steal any more beer from
All right, we're going to watch it this year.
the Euphoria thing.
Maybe we'll send an extra case or so for you. Just in
I
case.
think I added on an extra case or so
The
already.
John case. It's the John case.
Yours was the water because last year you kept.
Oh, look how
going,
cool it
Look at
is.
this bottle. I guess it was last year or the year before,
Yeah.
and it was one, and I can't remember what it was. But
I'm like, stop, they're taking that stuff back.
I'm stealing pens.
Less for us to
stealing
pick
water.
up after the festival.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So, yes, take it, and then that's less on us.
Well, thank y'all.
Thank you
Guys,
guys.
thank you for everything, and we appreciate y'all's partnership so much.
Well,
All right.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, and as always, if you have a suggestion for a new chef or someone for us to interview, please email us at askuschef@thecookstation.com, and we'll be sure to get to you. Thank you all for tuning in today.
Yeah, thanks. Hey, y'all did great.